Yo, what is up everyone? The brand new Fortnite Reload Ranked Mode has just released, and with that I'm going to be showing you guys some tips and strategies which I've already found to help you guys rank up to Unreal in Fortnite Reload as quick as possible. If you do enjoy today's video, please do drop a like and subscribe as I'm on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Let's get straight on into today's video. Now, as with any time Fortnite releases some sort of rank mode, the first question which everyone already asks is which game mode is the best to play to rank up fast. So let's start off talking about that. Now, Fortnite Reload is only available in duos and squads modes at this current moment, so I wanted to answer the simple question of which one is better to help you rank up fast. Well, it simply depends on which one of the modes you are actually going to perform better in on average. For example, you may have one really good friend that wants to grind with you, and in this case it may mean that duos is the best mode. If you can consistently place well with each other, get good elims and get high placement, then that's a great mix. However, if you feel you have a better chance in squads due to having multiple people that are on your skill to play with, for example, then this is definitely the better game mode for you if you can consistently drop high elimination, massive placement games. Overall, it just depends on which game mode you're actually going to gel better with and which one you're going to consistently perform and get better results. So now I'm going to be talking you guys through every stage of the game and which tips and what you should do at every stage. Starting off with stage 1, we're going to cover the early game. Now, there are two different ways you can play the early game in my opinion, these being aggressive or defensive. Now let's start off by talking about the aggressive playstyle. Now, the majority of the map will land tilted towers. This is what always happens. So this is an easy place to go and gain lots of eliminations off spawn. Now, we know that eliminations are crucial in Reload when trying to rank up as fast as possible, so if you're a good fighting team, I'd 100% recommend landing tilted, defo W key it, and try and get around 10 kills in the early game. Now, if you are a bit more of a defensive player, then I would recommend landing somewhere much more low key, whether this be on the edge of the map at an area such as Lonely Logs or the docks, for example, in order to get a relatively uncontested drop. The majority of people will go to tilted, so sticking by the edge of the map whilst getting your loot will allow you to easily rack up some early placement going into that game and not die off spawn. So moving on, let's cover stage 2, which is the mid game. Now, in my opinion, this is arguably the most important section in Reload, as it's all about how well you can prepare yourself with the best loot, materials, etc. by the time that respawn timer stops. So again, there is two different ways you can play this. So let's start off again by covering the aggressive playstyle. Now, if you're aggressive, I think you can continue to look through kills in the mid game to try and ensure that you get that game-winning loot in order to get the victory royale. However, it is important that you disengage away from the earlier scrappy fights or your drop spot like tilted, for example, and look to pick up some easy kills in the center of zone, whether these just be AR beams or something like that. It's important that you and your teammate also play really close together in Reload, maybe even more than a generic ranked mode, just due to its having such high mobility like shockwaves and grapples. 2v1 situations can happen extremely quickly. The last thing you want is your teammates get double sprayed at the same time and you not be able to get there quick enough because they've shockwaved on him and put him down. Now, moving on to the defensive playstyle. For defensive, I would recommend sticking to the dead side of the circle, as this has a large impact in Reload. Typically, lots of supply drops spawn within the mid game, especially on the dead side of zone, giving you that opportunity to improve your mats and loot during this time period. Even though you are playing defensive, I wouldn't recommend not fighting at all, as it seems Epic have made eliminations extremely important when trying to rank up fast. You have to get a few kills. You and your teammates should look for strategic AR beams or snipes onto players trying to scrap loot around the edge of the circle, because it's likely these players are low and have just respawned in during this time. So these are great opportunities to pick up some easy kills, which all mean the same when going towards that overall ranked gaining percentage. So now we've got to talk about the third stage, which is of course the late game. Now, in late game, there will typically be a team that tries to W key this lobby. This will probably be the aggressive team who are trying to maximize points by picking up lots of elims, probably the team that landed at tilted, got loads of kills, probably the best players in the lobby, right? Now, kills in the top 5 teams after the respawn timer goes off are a lot harder to get, and as a result of them being a lot harder to get because people play more safe, they are also worth a lot more for your ranked percentage, similar to like we have in the normal ranked battle royale mode. Now, I would recommend always trying to take height in endgame situations, especially in Reload, whether this just be through using your shockwaves or grappler. From there, you then want to apply pressure down onto your opponents just through using your AR. Most endgames in Reload will have a relatively low player count, meaning that it should be quite easy to keep track of all your opponents in the endgame. This will give you plenty of opportunities to get AR beams and also snipes, for example, and stuff like that. Now, as it comes towards the endgame, most people will actually just have minis in the inventory, as there isn't that much big pots in Reload because all these supply drops have stopped coming in when it gets to that end game. Now, you and your teammate can also apply constant pressure to your enemy eventually, which will force them to make a mistake. If you constantly spray someone or you constantly look for angles on them, it's going to cause them to start panicking, which you can then take the opportunity of them panicking and capitalize on this and overall get that victory royale. That's pretty much all I have in the end game. As you can see, I've done it in the background, so you guys can follow this exact strategy to win Reload games yourself. Now that is all I have for today's video. If you do want to see more helpful content just like this, please do make sure to smash that subscribe button, as we only need a few more thousand to 20k. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out from me.